Hello from Bugeye Guy. I just want to take a minute and show you this car before we completely dismantle it. It is a somewhat rusty car that's been in a family in Kansas for years. It has rust in the usual places. You should be able to see this rocker panel is pretty well finished, and same with this fender bottom. There's a lot of blistering and it's sort of delaminating. There's probably an old repair. But I wanted in this short video to just give you a brief tour of some of the cool original stuff that this car has, just so that you can see it. And one of the things in particular that I really like is if you look at the quality of the pleats. Now this is like micro obsessive Bugeye minutia, but hey, whatever. We certainly do a little of that here, or maybe a lot of it, depending on your perspective. But nonetheless, these are really cool ribs because they have more of a radius of a chambered kind of a feel. And if you look at the reproduction kits that are offered today, they don't have this. This has they're just more of a vintage pleat, I would say. And so this is something for us to strive for in the new seats that we manufacture. We don't make all of them now, but we'll be making more, and we'll be looking to attain this quality of pleat. So I believe these are the original seats, and that's why I was interested to see this. You'll also see here, these are the chambered foams. Those dark spots are actually voids in the seat foam. Now most of the new foams are all rigid and solid pieces, which is fine, but I was just looking to see to confirm that these are the original seats. There's the original color, a lot of sun and weathering. And then back here you'll see also, this is the Doormat, and this was the correct factory way to do the top bow. It's not something you see all the time, but they would cut through the Hardora, which nobody wants to do. We sell these rear Hardora mats, and the last thing you want to do once you put it in is cut a hole in it for your top frame. But that's the way the factory installed this, which is kind of neat to see. This is the original spare tire strap. It has this very distinct tip on the end. And the spare tire strap is basically the rear piece goes like that, and then that center piece pulls it in a triangle, and that's what this is here. Very nice to see that. Here is the original screw configuration for the panel behind the seat. You can see them going down. That's exactly the way the factory did it. And there's that termination for the weather stripping that it's now rust colored, but that beading piece that goes, this thing right here is the door seal going behind the panel, which is the proper way to terminate it. We've shown that in a lot of videos. Here you can see it again, the proper termination up behind here. This is the original red. Here's the original red. This is that thing about the perforation behind here and the way that the light and the vinyl reacts. Over time you end up with this black outline, and it's actually a beautiful original example, but you end up with something that a lot of people don't always like cosmetically, because they're perforations that allow light through, so the vinyl weathers at a different rate than when it has a backing. And these are the original knobs, and the original configuration, the original gauges, the original mirror. All the right stuff is here, and it's getting harder and harder to find that. Also the original door pockets with this recess. Now we have a great reproduction that looks exactly like this, but a lot of people just have a flat pocket. You can see here the original radius of this lip, which is what that's how we bend this panel when we do the reproduction, so that we can recreate that. And then this is the original red lining. We have black available. We have tried painting black to get this red look, and it's not a good idea. It tends to flake off. I haven't yet found red material here, but this is the original and how it looked. So this is a project Bugeye that we'll be working on probably for the next 6 months and restoring the whole car. All of this cool old stuff is coming out, and most of it will get renewed. We have things like this to address. That's not obviously the way you want it to be, but We will take care of all of those things in the process. These are the not correct. Somebody did this. This is a short tonneau mount that was done after the fact. These are further back than the factory or the dealer would have installed them. They'd be further forward. And this just doesn't look right to me. We'll take all those out and probably fill all these holes. One other really quick thing, if you're taking on one of these projects, you gotta know which holes you need. I mean, maybe that's oversimplifying it, but I can't tell you how often we've had cars come back, come to us like, this is in the wrong place. Somebody moved this. And we sell the template to put this in the right place. We might even be able to find the old scar of it. This is also a sheet metal screw. We will through bolt this so that it stays and doesn't get loose. But this will get welded shut, and then the correct one will go in right next to it where it's supposed to be. It's missing one right here. Somebody has, at some point this car, when it was painted, they filled this and put one here, which is wrong. So we'll put a screw there and put the correct one in. These are the, I mean, there must be 100 of these kinds of little fixes that any one of these cars will get. You know, here it's got screws, which is not a terrible thing. This lost the tail of the emblem. There's supposed to be an arrow. It's supposed to kind of come out like that. Not that big, but it fell off. So we'll fix that, and the rear bumpers. You know, a project like this is it's a big one, and it's a lot of fun. If you're going to take one on, you can do all this, and we're here to support you with that. But these are some of the most critical things that we find. Like, this sheet metal has to be fixed before this can be repaired. You don't want to be thinking about that after it's painted. So that's what we're up to this week in our building at Bugeye Guy, and thank you for a tour. Hopefully it will help you to keep your Sprite that much more original, and take care.